Hello there and welcome to another video from Change Tips and Tools, and this is a bonus video on the date checker series. And if you want to see that series, there's a link to it in the description and also a link to the file created from step 7 in the description also, if you want to follow along. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the fact that the View Calendar button is all the way over here to the right, and what we're going to do is use Visual Basic to move that button in relation to where you're at in the spreadsheet, so you don't have to keep on moving to the right to click View Calendars. So let me show you. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to take the protection off so we can work with this. So I'm going to unprotect the sheet. Now if I go to the home ribbon, we do find and select and do the selection pane, and we can see that if I right click on this button, View Calendar, that's the one that we're working with and the one that we want to move. So first of all, let's create some code to give us the position of the button. So I'm going to right click on the tab, do View Code. On the module here, MC Date Checker here, I'm just going to, at the top, start writing sub. Let's do button underscore position and hit return. So I've created this sub procedure. I'm going to declare two variables to capture the top value of the shape and the left value of the shape, which will give us the coordinates that we need. So I'm going to do dim my as long, and then I'm going to do my left as long and do return. So I've declared my two variables. So what I'm going to work with is this shape here. So this is what we were setting within that working with dates date checker series. So I'm going to take this here, which is how you refer to a shape. So active sheet shapes and then the name of the shape. Select that and I'm going to type with and then do Control V and then do return and then type end with. This just allows me to do shorthand here. So in other words, it's the same as me writing this out twice and then adding something else, like if I want to get a property of that shape. So if I do tab to indent and say my top equals dot top and do return, so at the top of that shape, the current position, my left equals dot left, and there you go. Then what I'm going to do is on the my top variable there, I'm just going to right click on it and do add to watch. And again, I'm going to right click on the my left variable there and do add to watch and then click OK. So then I can just monitor the values. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to do F8 to step through that code. So with this sheet selected in its current position, let's go back to the code and do F8. So first of all, my top, it will return it. So there's my top. And what I'm going to do on that is I'm going to make a note of that value. So the original position is going to be, the top value is going to be 155, so I'm going to make a note of that. Then I'm going to F8 again. So now we've got the left value, which is going to be 2006. So that's the original position of that button. And I'm just going to do F8 to finish that line of code. I'm going to go back to Excel. Now I've got this black arrow here, so the 4 arrows sort of pointing outwards there. I'm going to select it and move it to my first position here. So the first position is where I want to capture between these columns. So if I'm working in these columns, I just want it to move the button to that position. However, let's get the value of that current position now. So again, I'm going to go back to the code. I'm going to do F8. So now my top is 10. So again, I'm going to write that value down and I'm going to call it position, my first position. So top is 10. I'm I'm going to do F8. So now I've got 1528 on the left. So I'm going to write that down 1528. Let's do F8 to complete the code. I'm going to go back to Excel and let's move it to the final position. So when I'm working in these here, let's move it to this second position here. So between these columns here, and let's go back to the code. Let's take that position. So let's do F8. So my top, I'm going to keep it the same as last time. So it stays the same level. So let's put 10 there. So it's the left position I want, which is 606. So now that I have those values, I'm just going to do F8. Oh, I just pressed F9 there, which put a stop at there. Stop. I'm just going to press F8 to go through it. Let's go back to Excel. So now what I want to do is I want it at that position when it's really when I'm working between column E and column L. So let's put some numbers in here so I don't have to keep manually counting. So let's just drag that all the way across to the end here. So what I want to work out now is I want it to be in the second, so I'm calling that the second position. So where it's between column 5, yeah, so column 5 and column 12. If I'm in there, that's where I want this button to be. So the second position is between column 5. So I'm going to write this down, column 5 and column 12. Now, as far as the first position is concerned, is if I'm working between column 15 and column 22. So again, just going to write that down. So column 15 and 22, and then anywhere else, we'll just take to put it back to the original position. Yeah. So now I've done that and taken a note of those columns. I don't need this series in here, so I'm just going to delete that and clear it out. And now let's go to the code. So I'm going to do View Code. So I don't need this anymore now. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that there and do Control Copy. And I'm just going to delete this procedure because I don't need it anymore. And what I'm going to do, because what we need to do now is based on where we click here, we want it to move this button accordingly to those 3 preset positions. And the way that we do that is doing View Code. I'm going to double click on the date checker sheet, which is what we're working on. And here where it says General, I'm going to do the drop down and do Worksheet, and it automatically does Selection Change. Now you'll see there's a number of procedures in here. Well, this is the one that we want, Selection Change. So when we select a cell, it will run this code. So each time we change the selection, and it will return the range of the selected cell. And that's where it will assign that range to the target variable. So let me just do a Control V and paste in what we've got there. And what I'm going to do now is first of all, just say, in fact, I don't need these variables here, so let's remove that. Let's keep this as simple as possible. I do want the with calendar sheet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an if statement and do if target dot column, yeah, is so this is the let's do this, the second position is greater than or equal to 5, and then do and, because this has to be, both of these statements have to be true, and yeah, the target. So what I'm doing is finding out what column we've selected is less than or equal to 12. Then I'm going to tell it to do something here. So move to, so this is move to second position. Now I'm just going to put a note there, and all I'm going to do then is, get rid of that because I don't need them, and I'm going to do dot top. So for the second position, dot top equals 10. Do a return, then do dot left equals 606. Yeah, let's get rid of this spare line here. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do copy this and do control copy, because if it doesn't equal this one here, then I'm going to do else if the target dot column, yeah, is greater than or equal to, so I'm going to do greater than 12 actually here, so I'm going to do greater than 12, and as far as that first position, which is what this is going to be, it's the left is going to be 22, so that's going to be less than or equal to 22, and I need to put the target dot column there also. Then if that's true, I'm just going to do control V and paste, and this will be the first position note. And here I'm going to change, so let's look at my notes where I put the first position. So the top's going to be 10, and then the left is going to be 1528. So that's 1528. And then finally, if that's not true, I'm going to move it to the original position. Yeah. I'm just going to do else. Paste that, and let's do original. Like so. And then I'm going to wrap that in an end if as well. Remember the end if. Yeah, to close off this if statement. And here I'm just going to change it back to the original. So the original position is the top was 155 and the left was 2006. So then we just run debug and compile. That seems fine. Let's go back to Excel. So here it's fine. As soon as I click here, you'll notice the button disappeared and it's moved to the next position. And again, that's fine. As soon as I click here, it moves and the button moves. And if I click here, the button goes back to its original position. Wonderful. So let's just close that down. Now, let's just check that that works. So I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to here and I'm going to select this one. I'm going to do view calendars. Yeah. I'm going to hide the calendars. And then I'm going to select over here. Let's see what happens. That works fine. Move over. Can view calendars from there. Wonderful. Hide. Again, I can select here and it appears there. So there you go. There's a little bonus video on how to move an object based on where you click. And obviously you could take that a little bit further as well. So you could have it where you select a cell and maybe you want a pop-up menu appearing or a pop-up piece of information appearing to the right of where you click. All you've got to return is the address of the active cell. So hopefully that's given you more ideas for your own templates, and remember to click that like, subscribe and smash that notifications button for future content, because it really helps the channel. And as always, I wish you a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Please take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video from Change, Tips and Tools. Bye bye now.